Hey, this is Sherry Summers with Accent on Speaking. Today we're going to be talking about the American accent and how you can sound better in English. Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Sherry Summers with Accent on Speaking, and today I'm going to be answering 3 different questions about the American accent that were sent in to me from people from different places around the world. I'm going to be talking about how to pronounce the word vanilla and break it down for you so you can see the different pieces of it, the difference between the words lose and loathe, and talk about how you can pronounce them more clearly. And then in the end, I'm going to be talking a little bit about how you can get an American accent. So before we get started, I'd like to invite you to ask me any questions you have about the American accent or English pronunciation by going to www.asksherry.com. That's www.asksherry.com, and you'll be able to ask a question there, and if I'm able to, I will answer it for you in one of my upcoming sessions. Okay, great. So why don't we just jump right into it? First of all, Dadang sent me a question asking, how do you pronounce the word vanilla? When I say vanilla ice cream, people think I say funny ice cream. Well, it's probably not funny when they think that, but let's break down the word vanilla so it might come across a little bit easier when you pronounce it. Vanilla. So let me tell you right now, vanilla has 3 syllables. Vanilla. All right. The first thing we need to ask ourselves is, where do you hear the longest and strongest syllable? What syllable is stronger than the others, a little bit longer, and has a bit of a higher pitch? Listen again. Vanilla. Vanilla. Can you hear it? It's right on the second syllable, nil. 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 It's a little bit longer. It's a little bit stronger. And this is really important when you're using American English to recognize where your strongest syllable is, because you're going to put more time there. So what this means is this first syllable, v, and the last syllable, l, are not so strong. In fact, they're actually pretty weak. So let's break it down a little bit further. The first VA in vanilla, because it's in a weak syllable, we're going to remove that vowel. We're going to say it quickly, so we'll end up with the sound So you're not saying ah or ah or any of the regular vowel sounds. You're just going to say So here's the first syllable. V. V. Now some people feel a little confused about the V sound as well. Depending on your native language, you may be using a B, where you're putting your lips together. B, b. It's not the same sound. You may be using a W, where you're rounding your lips and nothing is touching, like w, w, and that's not correct either. Actually, did you know that the V is more similar to the F? Think about how you make an F. When you make the sound, you need to put your top teeth on your bottom lip, a little bit lightly, not too strong. You'll feel air go around the outsides of your tongue. Now the V is actually related to the F because the position of the mouth is the same. So if you can say face and you add a little voice and a vibration to that first sound, you'll end up saying vase. And that's what we're looking at. Vase. Vase. So going back to our original word, we have v. V. The second syllable in this is n. N. I want you to notice that the I does not sound like E, as in see or me. This is what we call a short I. It's similar to the E sound, but it's not the same, because when you say E, you need to put a little tension in your cheeks and in your lips. Go ahead and keep your tongue kind of in the same place, but now relax all of the tension in your cheeks and your lips. And you end up with I, vanilla, vanilla. And notice also I'm putting more strength on that N sound because that's where our strongest syllable is. Vanilla. And then we're going to end up with another weak syllable, which means I'm taking off that A and I'm going to put that same sound in. And by the way, this is called a schwa. This is the sound that often gets replaced where you have weak vowels. So here's our new word. Vanilla. 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 How does that sound? Can you do it? Vanilla. A little more strength on N, and you should be great. Vanilla. Yeah, so do you like vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream? Vanilla. Try it out a bunch of times if it's something that's a little bit more difficult, and I bet you can get it. Okay, let's take a look at the second question. The second question was sent in to me by Ahmad, who asked, what is the pronunciation difference in the words loose and loathe? Loose and loathe. Well, let me just point these out. Let's start with the first word, loose, L-O-O-S-E. Okay, we start with the L sound, but the double O in this word sounds like ooh. So it's the same ooh you would find in shoe or glue or maybe even who. Nice ooh sound where you round your lips quite a bit. Loo. And then you want to make sure that you end up with that unvoiced S sound. Like sink or say. So the word is simply loose, loose, loose. Now, don't get confused because L-O-S-E without the two O's is lose. It's almost the same as loose. The only difference is that final sound has a voice. Z, z, lose, lose. So L-O-O-S-E is loose with an S. L-O-S-E is lose with that Z sound. Loose and lose. And the other word that he asked about was loathe, which is L-O-A-T-H-E, loathe. If you don't know what this means, it basically means to really hate something. For example, he loathes his job. He really hates his job. So we start with the same sound, L, that L sound, but instead of the oo, now we're going to use the O. O. O as in go and no and home. These O sounds have two parts. Did you notice? It's not O, it's actually O, O. So we end with a little baby oo after this. So we start with low, low. Now here's the interesting part. When you get to the TH, you want to make sure that your tongue is a little bit between your teeth. It's almost like you're going to stick your tongue out at somebody, but not too much, just a little bit. You make sure that your tongue is between your teeth, and for this sound, you'll want to give it a little bit of a voice too. Just like in the word the and this, you'll make sure that your tongue is a little between your teeth and there's a vibration going on. You're using your voice box and you feel the vibration in your tongue. So this word L-O-A-T-H-E is loathe. Loathe. He said he loathes his job, or I loathe my job. So again, L-O-O-S-E, loose. L-O-S-E, lose. L-O-A-T-H-E, loathe. Loose, lose, loathe. All right, so I hope that helps a little bit. Try them out a few times if you're feeling confused about them, but just some slight differences. It's amazing. You make one little change and it changes the word. So be very careful about the pronunciation, otherwise you may be misunderstood. All right. Here is the third question that was asked of me this week, and that is, what is the quickest way to learn an American accent? This was asked by Abu Bakr. I probably need some pronunciation lessons in Arabic to say that correctly. Sorry if I'm not saying it correctly, but he would like to know how to learn an American accent quickly. This answer might surprise you a little bit. Although you can see very good success in a short amount of time, I really don't recommend going too fast. My recommendation is take it a little slowly. Don't go too fast when you're learning an American accent. Let me tell you why. Years ago, when I first got started in accent training, I held some weekend workshops, some 2-week boot camps where people would come every day and we would work on accent. We would learn all of the pronunciation, work on intonation and intonation patterns. And when the people left my workshops and when they left my boot camps, their heads were full of knowledge. They knew all kinds of things. And guess what? They didn't really use them. I was really, really disappointed because they learned all these things, but they weren't able to really use it in their life. And this is why. Accent training can be learned quickly, but it takes time to assimilate. You know what I mean by this? Assimilate. To assimilate means to use it in your daily life. It takes time to use it every day. Did you know that learning a new accent is actually a series of building new habits? When we learn a new accent, we are taking the sounds and the rhythms and the ways that we use our native language and turning them into different positions of the mouth, different rhythms, different intonation, different ups and downs. And these kinds of things take a little bit of time. It takes time to develop a new habit. You probably know this if you've ever tried to change your eating habits, or you've tried to change your sleeping habits, or you've tried to stop smoking, for example. They take a little bit of time, and I want you to be able to learn all of the important things, but also have time to assimilate them, to use them in your everyday life, because I have found that by everyday use, well, that's how you get to keep your accent, not just learn the accent. So it's really important to take a little bit of time. That doesn't mean that you can't learn a lot of things quickly. It doesn't mean that you can't start learning a lot of things quickly, because you certainly can. You can learn a lot of things and start using them right away, but just don't go too fast. Now, if you are interested in having a jump start, you may want to start listening to podcasts, television shows, movies, and imitate. Try to imitate what people are doing. Some people are really good at this. They're able to imitate other people very well. They can use the same kinds of sounds, the same kinds of rhythms. And if you can do this, this is fantastic. In fact, I've heard that a lot of people who study accents for acting will do that. They will listen carefully and they will imitate. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, we can't pick it up that quickly. Maybe we don't have an ear for imitation. That's why I've developed my American accent course, in fact, because I want to be able to show you how things work and to break things down. You know, we're adults. We don't pick things up as quickly as children do. So in my American Accent course, I break things down and I show you this is what people are really doing that you didn't notice before. This is how you do it. And then, of course, it's your job to assimilate it, to use it, to practice it, and to make it a habit. But the other thing that the American Accent course does is takes 24 weeks to go over. Instead of giving you everything at once, I give you everything over a period of 24 weeks. So you make sure that you go at a proper speed and you're able to break things down and you're able to use them. So if you're interested in that course, I highly encourage you to go take a look at it. It's at www.americanaccentcourse. And this is actually my work of love. I've been developing this course for several years, in fact, the American Accent course, americanaccentcourse.com. So www.americanaccentcourse.com. And you can find out more about that there. When you get into that program, you're also invited to join me for live online help sessions where we talk together in person in small group classes, and I'm able to point some things out to you to help you assimilate, learn, and develop some great habits to speak well. So anyway, I'm not sure if this was the right answer, the answer that you wanted to hear, Abu Bakr, but I really recommend that you learn a little bit at a time, use it, learn a little bit more, use it, learn a little bit more. But as I said, if you do want to jumpstart things, go ahead and try to start imitating movies and new radio announcers and so on, because that will help you to pick up the accent a little bit more quickly. And if you want an in-depth view of how the American accent works, go over and try out the American Accent course. You can try it for 10 days and see how it goes. So I just want to thank you for being here with me for this short amount of time. I hope that some of these things have helped you, at least given you a little better view of how we can break things down and they start making sense to us, especially in our adult brains. And if you haven't had a chance, go on over to accentonspeaking.com/gift and pick up that free audio and transcript that I have for you, where I talk about what you'll need to know to speak English with an American accent. It's on the 4 things you'll need to know on the American accent, and that's free for you. So that's at accentonspeaking.com/gift. And I hope to see you again in another upcoming session. And don't forget, if you've got a question for me, go on over to AskSherry.com and ask your question. I'll see if I can answer it for you. Thanks again, and see you next time. Bye-bye.